Today we are looking at one of the most significant privacy shift in social media history. Instagram Direct's transition to default end-to-end encryption. This is a topic that sits at the intersection of technology, policy, and user rights. We'll walk you through what it is, how it works, the timeline, the debate it caused, and what it means going forward.
Agenda. Here, what we will cover today. We will start with this some background on what end-to-end encryption actually means. Then get into the technical side of how Instagram implemented it. After that, we will walk through the timeline of the rollout, look at the privacy trade-off, then cover the criticism it received from governments and child safety groups. We will wrap up with our key takeaways.
So, what is a end-to-end encryption or E2EE? At its core, it means that when you send a message, only you and the person receiving it can read it. Not hackers, not government, and critically, not even Instagram or Meta. The platform acts purely as a courier. It passes an encrypted package it cannot open. Instagram Direct was launched back in 2013 as a simple photo sharing feature. Over the decade that followed, it became one of the world's most used messaging platforms with over a billion messages sent per day. For years, it operated without any encryption. Messages were visible to Meta system, the technology used to finally encrypt them, the Signal protocol, the same gold standard used by WhatsApp and the Signal app.
Technical architecture. Let's look at how the encryption actually works. When you send a message on Instagram direct, it goes through several steps. Your device encrypts it using your contact's public key. Think of it like a padlock that only they can open with their private key. The encrypted message travels through meta servers, but Meta can only see gibberish. They cannot read any content. These technologies power this. First, the double ratchet algorithm. This generates a brand new encryption key for every single message. So even if one keyword ever compromised, past and future messages remain protected. Second, serial sender. This hides the metadata. So even the server does not know who is talking to whom. And third, key transparency. Meta introduced a public key directory where you can actually verify that you're talking to the right person, preventing what's called a man in the middle attack. These three layers together create an extremely robust system.
This didn't happen overnight. The journey started way back in 2016 when Instagram introduced what they called secret conversation, an opt in mode for encrypted chats. Most users never touched it. Then in 2019, Mark Zuckerberg made a public declaration that Meta's future was privacy first, a vision that was met with some skepticism given the company's history. By 2021, the encryption rollout had begun and immediately drew fire from law enforcement agencies. Throughout 2022, Meta expanded testing globally while the debate around child safety, especially around detecting child sexual abuse material or CSAM, intensified. And then in December 2023, it became a real for everyone. Default E2EE was switched on for all Instagram direct messages worldwide. That was the moment.
privacy and the security impact. So, what does this actually mean for user? On the benefit side, the advantages are significant. Your messages are now protected from data breaches from hackers. Journalists, activists, and abuse survivors can communicate without fear of surveillance. And it brings Instagram into alignment with the major global privacy frameworks like GDPR in Europe. But there are real trade-offs too. When a platform does not read messages, it also cannot detect abuse happening on it. Spam and harassment become harder to flag. Law enforcement loses the ability to access message content as part of criminal investigation, even with a court order. And ironically, Meta itself loses access to message data it might otherwise use for ad targeting. Every security decision has a cost, and here the cost is visibility.
This is where things got politically heated. The FBI, Europol, and the UK Home Office all came out publicly against the move, warning that it would quote blind investigators. The UK even passed the Online Safety Act in 2023, partly in response, giving regulators power to demand that platforms scan encrypted messages, a demand Meta has resisted. The child safety concern is probably the most emotionally charged part of this debate. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children pointed out that Meta alone had reported 27 million cases of CSAM. In 2021, many of those referrals could stop if messages can be scanned. Meta's response was to double down on alternative approaches, on device detection, behavioral signals that don't require reading content, restricted messaging feature for user under 16, and opt-in reporting. And when US Congress held hearings and EU regulators pushed back, Meta still proceeded. They framed encryption not as a policy choice but as a fundamental right.
Conclusion. So, to wrap up, what do we take from all of this? First, this makes a genuine pivot. Default E2EE on Instagram is not just a feature update, it's a physiological shift in how a platform relates to its user data. Second, the technical achievement here is remarkable. Deploying the Signal protocol across 2 billion users in an engineering feat at a scale that's hard to comprehend. Third, the debate is not over. The tension between user privacy and public safety will continue to define how platforms, governments, and courts behave for years to come. And finally, encryption gives user back something that should have been theirs all along. The simple expectation that their private conversation stays private. Thank you.